Good evening, everybody. It's the other end of the day, early evening in the spring here in New Zealand, and it's equally a transformative light as it is first thing in the morning. You get the beautiful golden on the water, and the stillness comes back. The bird life is settling as opposed to waking up, but their songs are still going. They're still flying, catching bugs or heading home. I can see a cormorant up in the sky. Oh, it might be a duck even. And it's quite inspirational, I think, for doing creative projects, doing art anyway. I was thinking drawing, doing sketches down here. It's a reminder when we take the time to come into this still space as the day is closing, and being able to connect with the peace. I think it's a real privilege to be able to live close to and be connected with nature. I think this is something that, is regularly forgotten in our lives. I've just seen a blue heron, I think it is, walking in the shallows further away from where I am. Can't quite see the detail, but I think it's a blue heron. Yeah, I think we, it's, I realize I'm not the first one to say this, but there's a real disconnect happening when people are becoming increasingly anxious, stressed, and not disputing situations, but people speaking about having disorders, whether that's an attention deficit disorder or something. And I can't help but thinking that part of that is because of the amount of distractions that are going on in our lives now. And I think this applies to adults as much as to children, and perhaps young adults that are have grown up with a lot of technology, and they in turn are having children of their own, and to be able to step back and remember, how our humanness in terms of like what calms us and just really centers us and just brings down the heart rate, calms the nervous system and the digestive system, and reminds us of what really is of value in this life. And I think fundamentally, we all want peace and a roof over our heads, a couple of seagulls just flown by, and food and warmth, and really it's and love. I don't think it's out of the ordinary, and we increasingly live in a world that is moving faster, and people are just getting more frantic. And so sitting here on this quiet shell beach and being able to observe the wisps of cloud going by, the insects whizzing around, the last of them anyway, the change in the tide. It's it just brings back that rhythm of being connected with the rhythms of the earth and the larger cycles that we're in, and we're a part of that cycle. And I think, there's choices going forward for all of us, and not easy choices, not popular choices perhaps, but being able to not grab in a frantic way, but just to keep those threads of our humanness alive, those simple ways of being, and these are things that require using our hands or our bodies and our minds, our thinking, our day-to-day conscious thinking of decision making, making those decisions ourselves individually, using our own minds. I think we are at a turning point, and perhaps this has been said for generations, and but it does seem quite a crucial time. And perhaps, also I've heard my elders speak the same way when I was young, and now that I am officially an elder at 60, at that doorway of the elder, I see it. But I think it's the process is that much faster now, and health deterioration through processed food and sedentary work, and consumerism. We all need things. We all buy things, and I'm not discounting or what's the word? I'm not trying to speak from one who has the answers, or think I know better, but it's just my observations that when we lose the decisions, when we lose the control of our own decisions, when we let the decisions being made for us from the outside, not from within us, I think that's where the danger lies. And sure, things are easier, things are more convenient, etc., but that becomes a slippery slope, and then it's like, oh, well, I'm too tired, or I'll just let that go, or, yeah. I don't want to be harping on really, but I've just seen a pair of ducks there. They're probably going to come on shore and nest for the night. I'm thinking, and if it's the same couple that were on my deck about a week or so ago, they're quite young because the drake still hasn't got his full colours on his head. So I imagine that they'll have some ducklings wandering around at some point. But it's really beautiful to be down here. I think the sky's just starting to slowly change. I guess my last thought is that I think everybody is creative, expressing in some way their ideas, their uniqueness. And I think when we give up our inner creativity, if we give it up to technology, if we just blob out, as it were, and don't take our own initiative, then I think we become flat. We lose our joie de vivre, our joy of life, our purpose, I suppose. It's if we it's like, why are we here? Like, really, I mean, if we can express ourselves in some small way, a daily act, it might be cooking a home meal, or it might be lighting the fire on the beach, or lighting a fire in your wood stove or your wood burner, going fishing, doing a drawing, going for a walk, just observing the clouds, just absorbing. The bugs are around now, little guys. Yeah, I think we humans have too much. We're capable of so much, and we're giving that away, and we don't need to. I think we are incredible parts of nature, and we have the intelligence to recognize that. And I think, emotion and heart and soul, those are the things that make us human. We are intelligent, but we have something deeper. We have intuition and insight, and sitting in nature, seeing nature, like, that can really only happen in person, literally in the moment. Be yourself, enjoy yourself, love yourself, trust yourself, enjoy the day.